Hello everyone, I'm Nini FC and this is Blue Lions TV and welcome to another Transfer Daily video. You guys, finally after so long, after so many months, this deal is finally going to be over. It's going to be official very soon. It's either going to come out later today around 5 PM or 6:30, but most realistically the deal will be announced for tomorrow because of course England are playing and I don't think that Chelsea will want to announce a deal this big right before the England game. So expect it to be announced tomorrow. But yes, Jorginho and SARRI are officially going to be at Chelsea. And honestly, you guys, I've been reporting on this story since the beginning of April. And it's been 3 whole months. And finally, all the reports are over. SARRI ball's coming to Stamford Bridge. Good football's coming. The players are going to be happy now that they can express themselves and play fantastic football. We have one of the best releases in the world coming to Chelsea as well. The epitome of SARRI ball is Jorginho. He's the best guy to translate what SARRI wants Chelsea to do for next season. And it's exciting times ahead, you guys. But throughout this video, I'm going to be giving you the details as to how this deal finally got wrapped up and what this means for Chelsea. Jorginho is going to cost 57 million with 8 million in bonus clauses. But you guys, there is going to be some slight confusion in terms of how much this deal actually costs. Now I think all of us know why we're paying that extra 8 million, because that basically subsidizes the SARRI deal. When it does come down to what the actual confirmation is, there is going to be some mixed reports in regards to this. And it's going to come down to what ADL says, and obviously, you know, what Chelsea's side is, but of course the club won't be giving any clarity towards that. Now, coming from my source, the best thing I can tell you guys is we are going to be paying 57 million plus 8 million in bonus clauses. And of course, that 8 million makes no sense because the 57 million we're bidding for Jorginho already really is much more than what Man City originally paid for. Now, I know what you're thinking. The 57 million we're offering for Jorginho is much higher than the initial fee that Man City did agree with Napoli. Still, it is going to be interesting to see whether Napoli do end up sacking SARRI because Chelsea effectively subsidised his cost as part of the Jorginho deal, or if Chelsea do pay the 8 million as well as the 57 million for Jorginho. I'm telling you guys, these reports might conflict, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter because we're getting Jorginho and we're getting SARRI. Some more interesting things did come out in regards to this transfer. Still, you guys, Jorginho has actually returned back to Milan, but you might be wondering, what does this actually mean? Well, of course, from this point on, I can only give some educated speculation. Number one, it's looking like the announcement won't be made today. I was hearing things beforehand earlier on today stating that there's a possibility that this wouldn't be the case because obviously the England game is on as well, and they like to announce things on Chelsea TV, and the times tend to be around 5 PM for the short news, but most likely around 6:30 PM for the 15-minute news segment. Now, before people start panicking and start talking about Man City making potential late bids, etc., etc., that won't be the case. Number one, with Man City, they like to sign players that want to play for them. That was why they didn't pursue the Alexis Sanchez deal. Man City aren't going to be impressed. They're going to feel like they have been snaked a little bit because they already did agree a transfer fee and they've been kept in the quiet for the past 2 weeks. So for me personally, I don't think Man City are going to target Jorginho anymore. I mean, why? Already they're being linked with Pjanic and they're being linked with Kovacic. Kovacic does want to leave Real Madrid this season, so I can imagine Man City potentially going for a player like that. Now you guys, what I do take from this is that Jorginho has probably agreed personal terms and a contract at Chelsea. Maybe potentially he's done his medical as well, and maybe he's even done some of the press stuff in regards to, you know, signing announcements, the video announcements. You know how clubs like to do things these days with social media. Maybe all of that stuff has been pre-recorded in advance. It makes sense too. England are playing tonight. I can't imagine why Chelsea would want to announce it during the game or just before it. And I don't think that Chelsea will announce the deal very late either. Now, an Italian reporter has come out to state that Jorginho has agreed a 5-year contract, and things I have been told, again my source hasn't super 1000% confirmed this, but Jorginho's wages will be above £105,000 a week. Now Chelsea are offering more wages than what Man City did offer Jorginho, but again it's not really a big detail and we're going to find out closer to the announcement or on the day of the announcement. Now earlier today, Ancelotti was officially announced by Napoli and a press conference was held. Now, De Laurentiis did apologise to Man City, and De Laurentiis did state that Jorginho wants to go to Chelsea because he wants to live in London. I'll need to apologise to Man City as we did have a deal finalised 15 days ago. He continued to say, if Jorginho prefers London to Manchester, with all respect I have for Manchester, I can understand that. If Chelsea pays him even more, I can apologise to the Man City owner, but it's not really my fault. De Laurentiis also had some other confirmations to make during this press conference. He confirmed that SARRI was close to signing for Chelsea. He said that the situation is in the final stages and in the hands of the lawyers. Now, it's up to SARRI. De Laurentiis also said that my agreement with Roman does not depend on SARRI, which of course he is going to say that, isn't he? So yeah, you guys, we offered more money, offered higher wages, and now Jorginho is coming, and because we're paying more for him, De Laurentiis is allowing SARRI to leave. But what was the whole process in terms of how this deal finally got completed? Now you guys will remember the video I did release last month in regards to players being involved in this deal to finally get SARRI to sign for Chelsea. And you would remember that I did say that this is the most likely outcome, and this is something that both parties are negotiating with because both parties don't want to lose face. They don't want to look like they lost out to each other. Now at the time, players like Hysaj, Albion and Mertens were being discussed. And also David Luiz was being discussed as moving to Napoli in the other direction. Now the issues as to why this wasn't the case was down to 1. The market value. I mean, let's say we sell Luiz to Napoli. There's no way in hell that Luiz is going to make up the difference in terms of obviously signing a player and SARRI. Especially when those players offered at the time were Hysaj, Albiol and Mertens. And in the end, it wouldn't be a financially sensible deal for Chelsea to complete. And the second point is the players being discussed in these negotiations didn't want to leave. Now Chelsea kept negotiating to try and pay less than the 8 million that ADL did want for SARRI. But during that time, it wasn't enough, irrespective of whether Chelsea did pay the 8 million for SARRI. We know De Laurentiis, when he does business, he likes to get his way, he likes to feel that he's won, he likes to get the best deal for himself, which of course he's entitled to. As I mentioned earlier, don't forget the stuff with Cavani, Higuain, etc, etc. At the end of that video, I did state that don't be surprised to see a player being involved in the end, because so far with how negotiations were turning out to be, it was the only logical thing at the time that would get the deal done. And I did mention don't be surprised to see another Napoli player being involved in this deal. Now of course we kept trying to pursue down this path of trying to pay less than the 8 million and De Laurentiis just rejecting everything, trying to get a player in return. And at the time, this was why it looked like the deal was going to be off. But as I did state in a following video, the reason as to why this deal continued was due to higher ups at Chelsea pressuring people to get the deal done. And as it turned out to be, Chelsea did go down that path of securing a player from Napoli, and it did take Roman Abramovich's intervention. Of course, he had a personal phone call with De Laurentiis. De Laurentiis himself did confirm it during today's press conference. Jorginho was the player that was targeted. I guess it was easier for Chelsea because Man City already agreed terms and a fee with Napoli 15 days before. And you guys, if you actually think about it, it's kind of like the reverse situation of the Tolisso deal. Now, if you guys remember, we had been negotiating with Lyon for a long time to try and sign Tolisso. The player was interested, etc, etc. At the time, the deal was stalling due to Conte picking the wrong time to try and threaten to leave Chelsea. Because of that, Chelsea turned their attentions away from Tolisso and focused back on Conte. And during that time, of course, it was leaked out how much Tolisso would cost. Bayern Munich found out, they were negotiating behind the scenes, got it wrapped up quickly, and he became a Bayern Munich player. And it's looking like it's happening this time with Chelsea and Man City. And of course it makes sense. I mean, if De Laurentiis said that they agreed a fee 15 days ago, of course Chelsea have been speaking about Jorginho for the past 15 days. And it makes a lot of sense as to why this hasn't really come out during that time. Of course, we know the club are in lockdown mode. It would be a disaster if this deal was being leaked out to the press. Imagine if Man City found out what Chelsea were trying to do. So it looks like everything's worked out to our favour. I mean, literally, we beat Man City to strengthening their team by signing probably the best regista in Europe at this moment. SARRI gets the play he wants for his system. Jorginho gets to move to London with his family. De Laurentiis earns even more money from the Jorginho deal. And he does get to get rid of SARRI as well. And of course, SARRI can eventually sign for the club. And another benefit is all the parties involved in the deal still get to keep their integrity. They don't look like they've lost out to each other. And in a way, everything's ended pretty beautifully. And this is why people need to be patient. I mean, even me explaining the whole situation, look how complicated it is. And no wonder it took about 3 months for this deal to get finalised. Of course, I think a lot of us already had a very good feeling that Jorginho was going to be the player we did sign. At the time last week when I released that Jorginho video, at the end, I did talk about how confident I felt in regards to Jorginho being the key to finalising this deal. It just made way too much sense at the time, and also the great detective work from people on social media. Of course, people went through Jorginho's Instagram accounts, went through his girlfriend's Instagram accounts, and his mother's Instagram account as well, to try and find out who they've been following. And of course, all of them are following Chelsea, players like Hazard, etc, etc. So normally when you see things like this happening, it does kind of just cement the fact that this player's about to sign for the club. Now, Jorginho was in Brazil. He did fly to Napoli to say bye to his teammates. Yes, reports came out that he was very emotional, of course. Been an incredible journey with his teammates. So of course, he's definitely going to feel emotional with the whole situation. But earlier today, footage was taken of Jorginho entering the Napoli airport to obviously fly to London. And the early reports coming out are stating that Chelsea will be giving Jorginho the number 8 shirt. They'll be taking it from Barkley to give to Jorginho. And anyway, you guys, finally, this complicated, long-winded saga is finally over. We've got our dream manager. We've got one of the best midfielders in Europe right now. Honestly, you guys, it's exciting times. Sarri ball's coming. Sarri ball is coming. Good football's coming. No suffering is coming. You guys, the amount of videos I've got lined up and coming throughout this week. From tomorrow, every single day, there's going to be a new Sarri-related video where I'm going into a lot of depth, a lot of tactical analysis. I mean, you guys are going to love it. I'm feeling proud of these videos. I think they're going to be my best videos that I have released on this channel. And you guys know I love to go into detail. I like to provide the most context I can possibly provide to you guys as well. So you guys will definitely get all the information that you could possibly want in regards to Sarri, Chelsea, and what this means for our future, what it means for the players we have, what it means for player development, etc, etc. I'll have all of it covered. But anyway, you guys, honestly, you know what? It's going to feel a bit weird that I can't report on any Sarri stuff now. But honestly, in a way, thank God that this is over and I can focus on other things as well. But you guys, thank you for the support. Thank you to everyone that's been following the journey with me in regards to this deal finally getting done. You guys, it's happened. Sarri and Jorginho are going to be at Chelsea. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Line CV. Good times are coming.